Okay, hey there YouTube. Today I thought I'd make a deck profile on the deck that I went 4-1 with at the Card Brawlers locals this past week. And I actually did it with Sharks, which is pretty cool in my opinion. I also ended up doing this against all meta matchups. I went against 2 Tri-brigade, a Drytron, a Prank Kid, and a Dragon Link. So it was actually a very tough locals to play in, but we came out in second place, going 4-1, which was I thought really cool. And so I thought I wanted to just put a deck profile out there for anyone who's interested in Sharks, because I think it's a really fun deck. It's really fun to play, and it's really fun to see people's reactions when they come up against it. The Prank Kid's opponent I played was most shocked about what I was playing, and he was the only person I lost to. So let's get into it right away. So by the way, there's going to be a bit of a glare currently. Unfortunately, this is my remote duel setup, so apologies for that. So I'm going to be putting a lot of the cards here on the left side. So to start off, we have 3 Buzzsaw and 3 Lantern Shark. So these are 2 of the best cards in the deck, and 2 of your best starters. So they're very similar in a way because they both get you to another level 4. What Buzzsaw does is it targets a level 4 water monster you control and then summons a fish from the deck with the same level, with its effects unable to activate. And Lantern Shark does a similar thing, but it special summons from your hand. So not ashable, but it does require another level 4 in your hand. But that shouldn't be too difficult with this deck. And they both, by the way, they both lock you into XYZ summons, which is not a big deal because our entire extra deck is XYZ. Next is XYZ Remora. This card is absolutely broken. It's incredible. So basically, to summon this from your hand, you can detach 2 XYZ materials from your field to special it from your hand. That's a non-activating effect. And then when it's summoned by this effect, you can special or target 2 fish. It has to be 2 and it has to be fish. So you can't just summon target 1. There has to be 2 targets in the grave. Target 2 fish, a level 4 fish, special summon them from your grave. So it soul charges back a bunch of crazy fish cards. So it's pretty broken and actually helps us go into our triple toad in 1 turn plays. So a couple of just extenders. We have a Silent Angler, which is a free special summon if you have a water monster on field. 2 Lifeless Leaffish. This is not actually really an extender, but when it's summoned, it does Foolish a fish from the deck to the grave. So usually I'll just Foolish a Buzzsaw to get into the grave to recur it with a Toad if I don't already have access to it. Excuse me. So potentially cuttable. Probably will do when more water support comes out. But for now, playing it at 2 is it works. It's decent. Let's see, I'll these away. Then this, my opponent was really shocked when I summoned this 3-tin Goldfish, the level 4 water that special summons a level 4 from your hand on summon. It's not a fish, which isn't great, but it's still really helpful to get out your level 4 water monsters. And then 3 Tangy Spirit Shafana, excuse me. This is a free special summon if you have no effect monsters, which means that you can summon Great White and then go into Shafana. So we do play this because we play Unexpected Die in the deck, so don't worry, there's not just a random vanilla. So it's really good if you open Unexpected Die plus Shafana, because that means you can make your first rank 4 without committing to your normal summon, which is pretty damn good. So that's it for the water level 4s. For hand traps, we played 3 Ash, 3 Veiler, just excuse me, just some hand traps that are good in the format. I don't really think I'd change anything in the hand trap lineup I have going, because I do have one more, and you can probably guess what the 3rd hand trap is, but we'll get to that in a bit. Onto the spells. 3 Pot of Desires, you don't care what you banish in this deck. It's a bunch of 3-ofs. It really doesn't matter. So the draw 2 is very, very important and very good for this deck, and not really anything that you're particularly worried about banishing all of. Some great draw power. Then we have 3 of the Unexpected Die, like I talked about before, and yeah, it's a good card. It's a very good extender. I have it in for game 1, but usually for game 2 or game 3, I'll take it out. I'll take out the Unexpected Die and Great White for some side deck cards, or for some other, you know, things that I think would do better up in the matchup. But round 1, game 1 is you know, it's a pretty good extender to help with your plays. So I think it's plenty good enough to play in the deck. Then there's 3 Generation Force. Now this is kind of an old-ish card. Basically, it says if you control an XYZ monster, you can add a card with XYZ in its name from your deck to your hand. So that means XYZ Remora. We want to see this. Yeah, we want to see this card as much as possible, because this is what lets us do really strong extension plays with this deck. So we run 6 copies of it, but if you either have 2 of this, or you don't need to get to your XYZ Remora, we also play 1 XYZ import to search off of this. It's just a really great piece of interruption. It's a really underrated card, actually. It's a quick play spell that says target an XYZ monster you control and a monster your opponent controls that has less attack than the XYZ you targeted, and equip it to your XYZ as material. So we will search for that if we don't need the Remora. Really good card. And like I said, like you probably guessed, the last 3 cards is 3 infinite impermanents. It's just really good for the format. The Veilers and the Imperms really hit the Tri-brigade. Hits them a lot. You know, usually if you open 2 of them, that's usually a win versus Tri-brigade, especially turn 1, so, or game 1, excuse me. So that's it for the main deck. So on to the extra deck. By the way, it's 40 cards flat, so pretty good there. Extra deck, we have 3 Bahamut. I'll move this over here. Move this back over here. 3 Bahamut and 3 Toad. So if, you know, we are attempting to turbo out 3 Toads in our first turn, and this is basically mandatory. You want to play as many of these as possible. For our kind of, I guess you could say, our win condition package, we have, oh god, these names: Utopic Future Slash, Utopic Future, Utopic Draco Future, and Zeus. So I'll go through all of these in order. So first of all, Zeus is it's an XYZ deck. It's a great boss monster to have in the deck to really shore up those games where you need to have follow-up interruption, especially late game. It's you know, it's Zeus. You'll know it by now. It's just a really great card. Then we have Utopic Draco Future. This card came out in King's Court, and I've been waiting for this for so long for this deck. So basically, you take 2 XYZ monsters that are the same rank but aren't number monsters, so like 2 Bahamuts, and you can overlay them into Utopic Future, specifically this version, not this one. You overlay into this, and then you can overlay into this. Now, this is a boss monster that can't be destroyed by battle or card effects, and it has a once per turn monster effect negation. And if the monster's on field, you can steal it. So it's pretty difficult to deal with. And it's just a really great thing to have. So if we're making triple Toad, we're also making this first turn. This plus triple Toad is usually a win. Game 1. It's might as well be guaranteed. Then this last card isn't used as much. Utopic Future Slash basically is just in here as an XYZ, like what'd you call it? Kind of like how the Zodiac cards level up into themselves. So instead of going into Draco Future, we'll go into Utopic Future Slash and then into Zeus, which makes a 4 material Zeus. So if we want that rather than this, that's why discards in the deck. But yeah, so some really, really good stuff for the deck there. We play 2 Vespanado. One of these is needed for the combo. You need to overlay this onto a Bahamut to have a monster that you can detach two materials from. So you'll put this in the extra monster zone and then summon your Remora. It's pretty good because it can be overlaid onto any rank 4 once per turn. It has 2500 attack, it does piercing damage, and if it's destroyed by your opponent, it floats into a level 5 or lower monster in your grave. So it has a bit of recursion too, although that doesn't come up a ton. But and I played a second for late game. If I need to make a Toad and then push for game, I'll slap another Vespanado on top of Bahamut Shark, because Bahamut Shark can't attack when the turn you activate its effects. Or excuse me, it can't attack after you activate its effects. So having 2 is, I think, important. Then the last 3 cards are Abyss Dweller, Gusto Emerald, and Gaga Magician. Now, Abyss Dweller, you'll know, Abyss Dweller just shuts off opponent's graveyard. It's really good in this format. You know, I don't actually see it as much as you might think you would, given that Tri-brigade and Drytron are all about the graveyard. So even Prank Kids, I mean, it really just hits everything. So it's a really good card to have. Also, people forget if it has a water material, all your water monsters gain 500 attack. People forget about that because it's not usually played in a water deck. Excuse me. Then we have Daigusto Emerald. So a lot of our materials get into the grave and can be recurred by Toad's effects. When it's sent to the grave, we can add a water card, a water monster back from our deck to our, from our graveyard to our hand, and so we have recursion like that. But often you need a little more to get your Bahamuts, or even your Zeus or Utopic Future, Draco Future back from the graveyard. So we use this to recur 3 more monsters from our graveyard and then draw 1 in the meantime. And it's also a rank 4 that isn't a number monster, so it can be used for Utopic Future. And last is Gaga Magician. This is actually a really new tech that I've added to this deck. It's a generic rank 4, and basically it says target. Its effect is detach material, target an XYZ monster in the grave, and summon it. So it gets out the 2 rank 4s for your Utopic Future in late game with just 1 rank 4. And then so you'll rank it up, and then it has another effect that if it's the material of a Utopic Future XYZ card, you can detach 2 materials from that XYZ card you control, and then target an XYZ monster you control, and its attack becomes 4,000, and you can negate its effect. So it really helps for push, for game. When you need that extra attack boost. Usually I'll apply the attack boost to Vespanado. Makes it, the Draco Future plus a 4k Vespanado is 7k damage right there, and you'll probably have another monster event of some sort to get to that 8k threshold. So that's the extra deck. And then last but not least is the side deck. So you may have noticed this is very monster heavy, monster reliant, and so it's going to be susceptible to Dark Ruler and Forbidden Droplet, amongst other things. So we play 2 Solemn Judgment over here and 1 Imperial Order in their side. I'm contemplating adding a 3rd Judgment for something else, and I'll tell you what that something else is soon. But this is just, I think, really helpful going first in game 2 or game 3. It's just so helpful, because it just ensures that that you're probably not going to be dealing with droplets or Dark Ruler. Although if they don't have it, you can also just use this as just another great piece of interruption. Judgment is an incredibly powerful card. So they normal Prank Kids, they go and they link summon into one of their Prank Kids links. You can negate the summon. They're not going to get their prank effects, and they're going to be pretty much screwed from there. So That's why we played this. Some removal cards. We played 3 Lightning Storm. Just got reprinted. I think in the US you can get these for like 33, 35 bucks each, maybe now, which is still fairly expensive, but you know, it's a lot better than the 190 bucks that they were before. So that's it's just a great card to have in there. And then we have the Feather Duster as well, because this deck has a hard time playing through back row. I would probably take the Feather Duster out for a Third Judgment. That's probably my updates after these last locals. So, but you know, we'll see. It is nice to have the Feather Duster in there. It's always a give and take of what you want to prioritize. So, then we have 3 Droll. Unfortunately, they're the gold rare versions. Don't like them, but you know, they're the only ones I have. So, again, just Drytron. It's the matchup that's probably the most difficult for this deck, as well as just this format in general. So any deck that adds as well, just it's in there to hurt them. Play 3 Lancia. This is just to have 9 cards in your deck in 3 Valor, 3 Imperm, and 3 Lancia against Tri-brigade is a really tough thing for your opponent to play through. If in the Tri-brigade matchup, so it's just too good of a card to leave out of the side currently. And then last but not least, I'd play 3 if I had the space. It's 2 Nibiru. Just a generically good side deck card for going second. I sided this in against Drytron, and it really helped me out. Haven't really sided in against much else that I can remember. I think I sided it in against Dragon Link, as well as I think I sided it in against Prank Kids, but I don't remember. But it's you know, people know what Nibiru does. It's just a really good card to blow out opponents who are summoning way too much. So that's that. So that's it for the deck profile. I might end up doing a test hand video just for the fun of it. You know, this will be my first YouTube video, so who knows if it goes well, maybe, and if people are interested in the test hand to see just how to play the deck and what this deck can do, I might end up posting that as well. But for now, thank you guys for watching, and yeah, peace.